Hey folks, Levi here once again. Welcome back to another review. So I didn't do a review yesterday, but my family threw me a little 30th birthday party yesterday. It was fun. Yeah, got to eat some wings and pizza, so it was a little fun party and got some stuff, from the party. But yeah, it was fun. But anyway, back to another, again, continuing with my 80s era of superhero reviews. Hope you enjoyed my review of Child Incredible Hulk. That is on my channel right now. And here's another 80s review today, and this is a sequel to the first one that came out in 1982. I did review it, and that is The Return of Swamp Thing. Yes. Which I probably, to be honest, I like this more than the first one, but that's just me. Yeah. This film is very cheesy. It's so bad it's good. Yeah. I know we got bad reviews when it came out at the time, but this was fun. It's very tongue-in-cheek. You don't take this film seriously, But honestly, I'm not a fan of the character of Swamp Thing. I just never thought he was interesting. I always thought he was kind of a boring DC character. I just never thought he was interesting. And the first movie is very serious. It's a very serious film. But this film is more of like a comedy, with tongue-in-cheek humor in it. Yeah, and with Heather Locklear in there, it just amps it up. And then you have the two kids in here. But I'll go ahead and get to it. The Return of Swamp Thing is a 1989 American superhero film based on the DC Comics character of the same name. It's directed by Jim Wynorski. It is a sequel to the 1982 film Swamp Thing. It's directed by Jim Wynorski, who I have not seen any of the movies that he's directed. So. But it has a lighter tone than its predecessor, a little bit more humor to it. The film has a main title montage that consists of comic book covers of the character. Creedence Clearwater Revival's Born on the Bayou. I love that song. I remember that song, The Water Boy. Dick Durer and Louis Strobel inspired the roles of Swamp Thing and Arcane. It's really along with Sarah Douglas and Heather Locklear in this film. For the production, in 2018 interview, director Jim Wynorski recalled that he wanted Louis Jordan to refer to the character of Miss Panya as Miss Points. Jordan refused because he knew that the character's nickname was a sexual envy referred to in her press. Wynorski then asked Jordan, weren't you just in a movie called Octopussy? Yeah, because he was the villain Octopussy in that movie. Jordan refused to speak to Wynorski for much of the shoot afterwards, so I guess they didn't get along. In 2008, Dick Durer said to Bullseye.com that the suit made filming difficult. Even though I do like Swamp Thing's suit a little more in this film, it was a bit updated. I hadn't thought of having to go through the whole thing of wearing 50, 60, 70, 100 pounds of weight in the summertime in Savannah, Georgia. But the money was there and it's a job. According to the BBA, Locklear had a hard time working with the guy who plays Swamp Thing in his human form. The model was full of himself and really rubbed Heather the wrong way. As soon as the model scene was done, he was asked to leave the set. Okay. So I guess there were issues behind the scenes. For the film, it was directed by Jim Wynorski, written by Neil Colbert, Grant Morris. It's based on Swamp Thing, created by Lynn Wein and Barry Wrightson. As Swamp Thing is a DC character. This movie does go in the background of his creation, that he was into an accident. It's Alec Holland. There are other Swamp Things too, but in this movie his character is Alec Holland. And if you remember the first movie, I'll mention that later. But produced by Benjamin McLennan and Michael Uslan. Michael Uslan, who also Batman 89 came out the same year, he produced that. He helped get that movie right along, even though it took 10 years to do. So I guess he had time to make other superhero movies as well to do that, Because I think he grew up as a big Batman fan. Yeah. He was a hands-on producer on the first movie and this film. It's cinematography by Zoran Hoster. It's edited by Leslie Ross. The music is by Chuck Run. It's distributed by Millimeter Films. It was released May 12th, 1999. May 12th is my birthday. and the budget was $3 million, and the box office made $2,928 worldwide. So I guess it was a decent box office hit. And this is the 30th Annual Special Collector 30th Anniversary edition of the film. The film is released on Blu-ray. The film didn't get good reception, I guess, from the critics or Rotten Tomatoes. Before his death a year later, Dick Durr stated in the 2008 interview that they tagged in Return of Swamp Thing to make a comedy. Campy and that's tough to make it work. I think for the TV series, they kind of gave up on the idea. They got back to the dark side of the character. It was written in the comic book. If it's like that, I never read the comics. Heather Locklear won a Razzie Award for her work for actress in this film. Yeah. Other media, Peter David wrote an novelization of the film. Disappointed with the script, David rewrote long chunks of the story to surprise. The producers enjoyed the change and allowed the book to see print as is. And for the cast, you have Louis Jordan as Anti-Arkin. Again, I don't remember him in much movies. I'm sure he's been a lot, but I remember him just from the first movie in Octopussy. Heather Locklear, I know she did a TV show like Dynasty. I think she was in T.J. Hooker. She done some movies like, I remember her in Looney Tunes Back in Action. I believe she was in Spin City with Michael J. Fox. Money Talks, I remember her in that movie. The Perfect Man with Hilary Duff, I remember seeing her in that movie. And she was also in Scary Movie 5. I think I'd rather watch this than Scary Movie 5, but that's just me. Sarah Douglas is Dr. Lana. Sarah Douglas has done the Superman movie. She was in Superman 2 as Ursa, in Superman 2, the Lester version, and the Richard Donner cut. And of course, she worked on an episode of Supergirl in 2018. Yeah. And she was in Conan the Destroyer as well. Yeah. And Dick Derrick is Alec Holland. Yeah, he passed away in 2009. I just remember him as Swamp Thing. It's a Swamp Thing. That's something I'll know him from here. And he was in the Design Adventure. Ace Mask as Dr. Rochelle. Monique Gabrielle as Miss Pointy. She was in Night Shift. Deathstalker 2. And she's been in adult films as well. Daniel Taylor as Daryl. Joey Silva as Gunn. Those are the kids in the movie. There was also another superhero film starring Pamela Anderson that was Barbed Wire, which I'm not going to review that because that sounds like more of a porn than an actual movie. Into the Sun with Steven Seagal, he was in that. And Beyond the Wall with Charlie Sheen. Brendan Lee as Elmore. Frank Welker as the voice of Gigi the Parrot and Creature of Cultural Effects. Yeah. Yeah, for the plot synopsis though, the Uval King's stepdaughter, played by Heather Locklear, helps the mock monster defeat the madman before he can unleash his genetic mutations. Well, pretty much after his fight with Swamp Thing in the first movie, Arcane, who turned into a monster and fought Swamp Thing in the first movie, so they killed him, but apparently he survived because as Dr. Lana and Dr. Rochelle saved him and turned him back into his human form, he's aging, so he's basically trying to become immortal, He's still searching for Swamp Thing, but he wants to gain immortality, but in order to do that he needs like a relative's blood or whatever. And his former wife, who was the mother of who passed away, who was the mother of Heather Locklear's character, invites her over so that he can get a blood sample, so that he can, transfer his DNA to his, so he can be immortal. And Swamp Thing's involved too, because Swamp Thing's there and he falls in love with her, and Swamp Thing is out to rescue her. Yeah, but that's the plot in a nutshell for you. Like I said, it's a film you shouldn't take very seriously. Yeah. But I'll go ahead and get into talk about it. Now, the movie, like I said, is cheesy and corny. It's not a film you should take very seriously. It is a movie, I would say, that is so bad it's good. Hey, but it's fun. Swamp Thing being taken seriously, it just makes it... The first film, in my opinion, is just a bit boring. I like the actress in the first movie better. She's a better actress, in my opinion. I like Heather Locklear. Heather Locklear is still a very beautiful woman. So, hey, she works in here for me. She's still a beautiful lady. Yeah. Yeah, there's some weird moments. The film has its problems. It's not perfect. It has its flaws, but it's fun. It's harmless fun, in my opinion. You just can't, just don't take it very seriously. Look at this poster. Does this look like a very serious movie to you? You just even look at the original poster when this film came out. Yeah. That's the original poster. You can't really see it well, but you can't really look at that poster and expect a serious movie. So, but anyway, at the beginning of the movie, is these government agents looking in the swamp to find something. They're arguing. Say, no, you idiot, you went the wrong way. No, you idiot, you went the wrong way. And they finding this monster attacks one of them. And they try to get away with the two guys. They get shot by Pointless, whatever her name was. The nurse named Pointless. She says, hey, and they shoot her. And the guy gets attacked by this monster. And then one of the monsters, look at this movie, the makeup effects, whoever did them did a great job. I love the monster makeup and stuff in here. And the sounds done by vocal effects done by Fred Roper are really good, in my opinion. But this monster does attack the man. The Swamp Thing, fights the monster off and defeats him and gives him his glasses back. And says, I'm Swamp Thing. And then you hear that, born on the bayou, that song. And you see, like, the comic books, which really is a good title. It's letting you know that this is a comic book film and that you shouldn't take it seriously, as like Swamp Thing is just looking at the camera, As something like this, Swamp Thing himself is just breaking the fourth wall. But I like the opening title, so you can have Arkham Asylum, because I know in the comics, from what I've read here on the internet, that he's teamed up with Batman before. I know he was in Batman and Harley Quinn just for a short moment, but because he is DC as well, just like Batman is. But anyway, then you see Arcane's mansion, and you see Heather Locklear for the first time. She's a woman that loves plants. She's a vegetarian. She even has these plants. She works on plants. Like she says, she's a florist, and she talks to her plants like people. And this lady that she knows, like her assistant there, just doesn't talk. She's like, just sitting there, rolling her eyes, watching TV. She's like, all right, Roberta, I need you to watch my plants, feed them, and let them watch TV. And then she walks away. She's like, and she's on her way there. And Arcane says that he wants to be immortal. He tells Dr. Lana, played by Sarah Douglas, that he wants to be immortal, and he wants to, so that he needs to get a blood sample from her. So they need, but Abby's going there, Abigail, again, her character's name, Abigail, as you can say, is going there to find out what happened to her father, and you see his monster creations and stuff, and talking to his Dr. Rochelle about what they're going to do. When you see the monsters there, that one of them they just kill. They have like this engine room where it blows up the monster. They can electrocute them and kill them. Swamp Thing doesn't have a whole lot of screen time. He just pops up when there's a fight needed to be done. Then you have these kids in here. What was their name again? Daryl and Gunn. Yeah, that's the two kids in here. The Daryl and Gunn. Daryl's like, dude, open up the door. And I was like, we don't have a password. It's like, yeah. But anyway, I forgot to mention also, I'll just be going over the review. Jordan, Arcane gets a visit from a cop, from the sheriff, telling him about, these men say thing. He's like, well, maybe this happened, 2 men died and stuff. He's like, well, you helped me investigation, sir. And like I said, the dialogue in this film is very cheesy. The chief is like, the sheriff or whatever is like, this come on. He's like Sarah Douglas. He's like, she does experiments on genes and stuff. She's like, well, she can get into my genes any day of the week. He's like, I like one of these pretty ladies to escort me around. You're out of here. I'm like, okay. And he realizes one thing there. He wants to track him down. Abigail comes to visit. He welcomes her and says, my home, make yourself at home. She is smart as her does. They have the thing, but they don't get along. And you say that, that Arcane and Lana are, in a relationship as well. They're lovers. But back to Daryl and Gunn. They're ready to leave. These people was like, whoa, ladies, and then they have somebody else like, oh my gosh, my parents, and they're hiding it under the couch, under a seat, hiding these magazines, and they see the monster like, ah, they run. Daryl picks up a bowling ball and throws it out the window. You can see why that window. Oh well. They run out there. The monster tries to chase them down. Swamp Thing shows up and beats the monster, and this time kills him. And there's a fight with him. And Daryl's like, "Oh my God, it's Monster Mania out here tonight!" And just their dialogue is very corny. And when these cars blow up, they give Swamp Thing thumbs up. And Swamp Thing gives them a thumbs back up. That was fun. And they refuse to talk to the press, and Daryl and Gunn want to take a picture of Swamp Thing so they can get like $10,000 so they can get money. And Abby has dinner with Arcane, Arcane that night. He gives her this ring, and it's a cut. She gets blood, very badly, but they get this DNA sample from her so that they can extract her blood in order for him to be immortal. She goes outside, and these two rednecks saying, we want to kill somebody, I want to kill somebody, you always want to kill something. And she's like, oh, she's a pretty lady. And the lawyer just walks by, she says, oh, well, I'm going away. They're trying to attack her, but Swamp Thing shows up, punches the guy out. The guy tries to attack Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing's pretty big, you can't really take him on in a fight. And, they go away. And he tells her, hi, Abigail, I'm Alec Holland. He's like, you're a plant. Yes, but not always. He tells about his history, like in the first movie, that him and his sister, he was killed in the first movie, that he got into an accident, he got burned, the swamp did something to him, and that's how he became Swamp Thing. And he said, stay away from Arcane, he's a bad, bad man. And before she could walk away, Arcane's men show up and start, with their guns, start shooting at Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing runs away eventually, they would get away. They blow Swamp Thing up, but he's able to still be alive and use the water, and Abby gets sent back to her to her stepdad, to Arcane, tells her his real motive, what he wants to do. She's like, you're insane. So he keeps her in cage locked. I guess Omar, is the villain guy, yeah, sorry. Omar's like, he likes Abby, and he teases her a bit, and then she's like flirting with him, and she's like, my favorite surgery. She's like, what's that, baby? He's like, if I say something, kicks him in the balls and gets away from him. And he's like, 2 5 nights at, I forget, of karate or whatever. She's like, and she kicks him in the balls again, and she's like, 2 nights of a badass at LA, or something like that. But she's trying to get away. These men capture her. Swamp Thing, gets in the tub. Well, Lana, by the way, after making love with Arcane, Dr. Rochelle comes in to talk to him, though, that that Lana has a blood type 2, that they're going to betray her. Lana hears this, is angry, and realizing that he's betrayed her. she says to turn on him, but she sees Abby running away. She's like, here's the car, here's the keys to this Jeep, go ahead and go. So lets her go. And she's, angry that, Arcane has just betrayed her, is probably going to kill her. So she betrays him. First, Swamp Thing comes into the tub, and it's nasty, but, good effects though. Yeah. As he's able to go through the pipe into the toilet, the bathtub. Swamp Thing's attacked these two men, and him and Abby, get in the Jeep and run away. They have a flirtatious moment, they become romantically involved. And he's like, I can't give you what you want. He's like, is there a Mrs. Swamp Thing? He's like, no, I'm a bachelor. They have a few moments about each other. A good, romantic, cheesy love theme for them. The musical I like though in here, by Chuck Quino, it is very cheesy, the love theme. So he has to eat this plant where she can imagine him as a man, and they have imaginary sex, but, making out or whatever. And she's like, well, you wouldn't like me very much. She's like, that's okay, I'm a vegetarian. And they make out, they just start making out, and she fantasizes about him being a man in his imagination. He's like, is this real? As real as you want me to be, Abby. He tells her about his world, basically, the plants, and of these people that are ghosts. And then you have Gunn and Darrow who are trying to find pictures. Since Darrow is the overweight kid, he eats all the candy and stuff, and Lou's like, well, we only have 2 apples. But apples, man, you ate all the damn food. I was like, they said, check over there, if I can get a picture of it. But then Arcane's man comes up, Omar comes up, and says, this is my camera now. He's like, wrong, it's not. And then Swamp Thing shows up and she saves these kids, punches the bad guys out, knocks them away, hits Omar in the face with a baseball, just breaks his nose. But they run away from Swamp Thing, and they're beaten up by him. And Swamp Thing's like, okay, let's get a picture. Like, you have to take the mark off the lens to take a picture of it. And Darrow's just like, the black kid's like, I thought that was funny. But then Abby gets kidnapped, I guess you say, by Omar's men. And so what I think is like, Arcane. And Arcane reveals to her his plan that he wants to be immortal. She's like, did you make a deal with God or something? No, but I got something out of it. But you find out Lana switches he gets some more, but she switches it. And Arcane finds out Lana's betrayal. Like, you switched the vials. Lana, no, I'm not mad, it's okay. We all make mistakes. You just laugh, yes. And then he shoots her, kills her. God will forgive me. That's his job. But Swamp Thing, Omar and Point Girl, whatever, they start flirting with each other about to make out until the men are interrupted. Swamp Thing sneaks around, knocks 2 guys out. One guy's like, need a lighter, bud, and then he punches him out. He's like, this is all to these. Takes a grenade from him. Omar chased him in a Jeep, trying to shoot him with the guns. And then, Swamp Thing throws it at him, and you assume he's dead. Swamp Thing breaks in, and, Abby's just, passed out tied to the chair. He's like, Abby. But he sees Arcane, goes, a chair at Arcane, and Dr. Rochelle, I forgot to mention earlier, he was shot with a vial by Lana secretly. She pushed him in there, and he becomes like a monster with an alien head. He inhales and he just throws in hell. He's a little fight with Swamp Thing, and Swamp Thing, throws him in the machine. He gets killed, and Arcane's on the ground. His leg is broken after getting hit by Swamp Thing, and after getting hit by a door that the monster Dr. Rochelle turned into, don't hit his leg, so he's stuck, he's hurt, and, he just sitting there staring at Swamp Thing, says, come on, Abby, let's go. And he just looks at Arcane, and Arcane just, and as you say, he probably dead for good as his place blows up. Omar, I forgot to mention, came to attack Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing knocks him out and, pulls the pin of grenade that he's got, throws it over there, and he blows up, dies. And Arcane's mansion blows up. And Swamp Thing saves her, and he uses his abilities on her, to heal her up. There'll be side effects, as you can, it's like, well, that's okay, I'm willing to go through it for you, and they give each other a hug. And, you see a plant come out of her foot, like she'll be turning into a plant herself, so I guess she'll become Mrs. Swamp Thing, and they'll live happily ever after at the end and have swamp babies. But anyway, Daryl and Gunn take pictures of Swamp Thing. I was like, no, let's go get $10,000 out. Now I'm going to get a Corvette. Daryl's like, what about me? And I was like, you get your own Corvette, And then at the end, in the end credits, they're arguing about what they're going to do. Yeah. And then it ends with that song, Born on the Bayou Again, by Creedence Clearwater Revivals. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the end of the movie. That's the end of Return of Swamp Thing. So I'm glad I narrowed everything down. I'll give my final thoughts on this. I'll do 2 short extra videos next. So. Anyway, stay tuned for that. But anyway, so Return of Swamp Thing, give my final opinion. This movie is so bad it's good. Yeah, it's not a very good movie. It's bad, but it's fun. It doesn't take seriously. I had fun with this movie. I do like the cast. Dick Durrock as Swamp Thing does a good job. Louis Jordan does a good job as Arcane. Heather Locklear, say what you will, but I think she's good here. She is a gorgeous woman. Still is a gorgeous woman. The kids, I think, were good in this movie. But, the acting is bad, but it's like everyone just knows that this is a comic book film. They're just in it, for a good time. You can't really take a comic book film seriously. You don't have to all the time. It can be fun and cheesy. I'm fine with that. But sometimes it works and it doesn't, but this works. I would even say I like this more than Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck was, I think, even worse. Howard the Duck is not a good movie. Neither is this, but I would say I would like this better than Howard the Duck. I even say I like it more than the first Swamp Thing. I think it's better than that movie, because that movie was just so boring, It was okay, but I like this film a lot more. I like the makeup. I like the story. Yeah, okay. The story's not very taken seriously. Against Arcane just wanted to become immortal, kidnapping his stepdaughter in order to, force the DNA into that. Okay. And Swamp Thing's every Swamp Thing. He feels like more of a guest star in his own movie. Like he just shows up and pops up to save somebody. That's it. Doesn't really feel like anything about him. It feels more like it's about the villains and what they want to do. Swamp Thing just pops up when he's needed, and because his name's in the title, so But that's the plot, But it's very cheesy and corny. The acting is corny, but I do love the makeup, especially on Swamp Thing. I think Swamp Thing looks great in the makeup. The makeup is really good. I think in the film, I love the looks of the monsters in the movie. The makeup is very brilliant. No CGI. It's very practical. It's pretty scary and good. I think Jim Muskey knows what he was doing. Even though there was trouble, I'm sure, behind the scenes, it was definitely worth it because they made a fun movie out of it. The script, I think, by Neil Coburn and Grant Morris, it's like they knew what they were doing. Yeah. The music score was cheesy and corny. I don't think it wasn't cheesy, but this movie to me is very cheesy, but it's fun. It's distributed it's 88 minutes long, an hour and 29 minutes. It's a very short movie, goes by at a good pace, does full well, and I do like the cast as well. Yeah. The running time's good, the effects are good as well. So it's a fun movie, definitely. It's definitely a movie. It's also a better movie than Octopussy, in my opinion. But this is a fun movie. Now the problem, sometimes the humor doesn't work. It does fall a little flat sometimes. It's just very bad sometimes. Yeah. But I don't know. It's a fun, bad movie, if I'm making any sense. I guess you can say it's a guilty pleasure. I don't really believe in guilty pleasures that much for movies, but I would call this film a guilty pleasure indeed. So I would probably give it a rating, before I do that, can't think of any other problems. Well, sometimes the pacing I have issues with. Sometimes certain characters can be a little annoying, But anyway, I still have fun with this movie regardless. It's a fun, harmless, cheesy comic book film, and again, I'm not a fan of the character of Swamp Thing, but this film doesn't take Swamp Thing very seriously, and I'm fine with that. Making him serious is just making him boring, in my opinion. But it's fun for what it is, if you're just looking to have a fun time, a movie that you can laugh at, or a comic book film that you can laugh at, definitely Return of Swamp Thing is for you. I know I was entertained by it, so it's a very entertaining, fun movie. Fun, bad movie, in my opinion. A guilty pleasure, indeed, for me. But anyway, guys, my rating for this film, I'm going to give this 3 out of 5 stars and a thumbs up. Yes, a slight thumbs up. It's not good, but it's fun. It's so bad, it's good. It's a guilty pleasure, indeed. But anyway, guys, tell me in the comments down below, what do you think of the Return of Swamp Thing, in your opinion? Do you like this more than the first one? Do you like this more than the first one than I do? Or do you hate this movie? Tell me in the comments down below, what do you think of the Return of Swamp Thing, in your opinion? Hope you enjoyed my review, guys, of this movie. There will be no other review today, probably either next Friday, probably next Saturday. But my next superhero review, and I'll probably do 2 trailer action videos coming up, so stay tuned today for that. Coming up. Alright. For my next 80s era superhero review. And this will be the last one, the final one. Yeah. And this film stars Dolph Lundgren. Louis Gossett Jr. Really underrated movie. I love this film. And that is The Punisher, starring Dolph Lundgren. This will be my last 80s era superhero, 80s superhero review of the 80s era. This will be the final one. So definitely stay tuned for The Punisher, starring Dolph Lundgren. So it'll probably be this Saturday. So sorry I couldn't do no reviews this week. You know, just something with the birthday party yesterday. Yeah. Well, The Punisher, starring Dolph Lundgren. This will be next. So stay tuned for this review, guys. So I hope you look forward to it. I know I look forward to watching this again. But tell me in the comments down below, what do you think of the Return of Swamp Thing, in your opinion? What is your opinion on this film? And I hope you look forward to my last 80s era superhero review of the 80s, and that is The Punisher, 1989. I already reviewed Batman 89, so yeah. But let me know, guys, in the comments down below, what do you think of this film? I mean, not this film. Of The Return of Swamp Thing. Again, 3 out of 5 stars in my rating for this film. And stay tuned for my review for The Punisher, starring Dolph Lundgren. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys. See you here soon. Stay tuned for the next 2 videos. 2 trailer action videos. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.